So today we're going to be looking at palette 182 from Color Cube 1 of Sarah Renae Clark's Color Cubes. This is going to have sage, apricot, chocolate, blue gray, charcoal, and I'm going to be again stepping up trying to use the gel plate. I have the brayer at hand. I have at some point maybe some stencils I'm going to use. Let's see if you can see those a little better. And I went ahead and grabbed a bunch of colors already because this is actually not my first time trying this. I did it and realized I didn't have any of the sound on. This is the first sheet that I tried, and then I realized I don't have sound on. Hey, you got to go with what you got to go with. We're going to try again. The colors that I ended up picking are golden honey, yellow orange light, sea pearl, gold metallic, and winter blue. The lamp is not on. I'm using light from the window because when I put the light on, it shines a lot on the gel plate. We're going to have a little bit of questionable lighting. We're going to get rid of this book. This will be done at the end. We're going to try and see if this time I can be smart, flip it over and center it. We'll see. It may end up being more of a mess than I realized, but we're going to put that there. We're going to put the watercolor paper book somewhere else. And I'm going to pause for a little bit and put some of the paint down, and then we'll start seeing if we can braid this time and do it correctly. All right, let's see if we can get this braying. I've got a piece of copier paper here to run some excess on, but let's see if we can do this. Maybe second time's the charm. Let's get going. I didn't realize I have it all over my hands from the other time. And we'll see what goes on here. We're going to be blending some of that brown with the blue. All right, let's get some of this off the brayer, some excess. And let's just go up. And we're just going to see what this does this time. I think I'm going to put a little bit more blue in here just to have some more blue up on this upper part here. So let's see what that does. I think I'm liking that a little bit better. Clean off the brayer again. And we're going to put, again, a piece of copier paper on here. And I am not being too concerned if I don't lay this on perfectly trued to the plate. We're just going to go with it, pressing down. And now we're going to pause because I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup and let this dry. See you in a bit. All right, I've done a little bit of air drying here. Let's go ahead and lift this off. See what we get on this next try. All right, so have that. Found where the cat hair was. What would life be without cat hair? So I'm going to put that over there. And what I want to do now is, I think I'm going to lay down all, We're just going to give it a whirl here and try to find the brayer again. I'm going to lay down a layer of the blue. And pretty much I'm winging it right now. Let's just give a nice layer of blue on stuff here. And I'll put a stencil over this. And that may end up Not being the greatest, but we'll see. And let's try and get some of these lines out. This is one of those days where anything could be difficult. It seems to be difficult today. But you just keep going because life's fun that way. Okay, let's bring this all the way up to the edge. Not that it's really going to do a whole lot, but let's go ahead and try and get this in. There we go. At this point, I'm fine with however it goes because you are getting to see action of, wow, this has been a fun day and it's not even afternoon yet. So I'm going to put this down on here again and we'll rub through it. Trying to just go ahead, rub it off in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take it off, and then I may let it dry. The good thing is it helps you keep trying and experimenting, and that is what a lot of art is, experimenting and seeing if something goes wrong, how can you fix it? So taking that off. Ah, that's actually sort of pretty. It's sort of pretty. Get the brown background and some of the flowers coming through. Hopefully you can see that. And then some leaves down there. We're going to take these off. Let that dry. And see about what the next layer is going to be. It's getting a little crowded in here because more fun. Let's move this out of the way because I just had a thought before I put the plate on here. I'm trying to not have a mistake like I did last time. I had this all left and had to come up with a border. So silicone wedge, I put down some of the sea pearl and the yellow orange light. We're going to make a background here using this to play it around, move it around, help take care of the fact that from the last thing I did with the fluid watercolors, they're peeking through a little bit. So this is going to allow me to have basically a primed canvas, if we want to look at it that way, and have a solid background. There's some weird shadows coming through on things, and I don't know where that came from. Woo, ghosties, I guess. I guess we got ghosties. All right, so this is all taken care of. We'll go downward again. That is being very stubborn. All right, there we go with that. And now this will need to dry itself also. Good thing is it's acrylic, so it should dry pretty quickly. All right, and then we'll keep going on this, rowing this boat ashore, or will it be a sinking ship? I guess we'll see. And I'm back. I'm breathless because, boy, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes right now. So this is the, all right, let's get all the problems out of the way now. My day may be better after this. I've got some palette paper over here with that golden brown and then some of the metallic gold. Got a sponge. I got a blender. So you can see already mistakenly got a little bit of that gold metallic on there. The last step I just did was I tried to put a background on here because the gel plate is smaller than this. So I didn't want to have a stark border wherever this is going to lay on this. So we've got this pretty much primed, colored, and ready to go. I'm going to put it over to the side for the minute. We'll just move this back over. We're going to have this ready because there's paint where I don't expect there to be paint, but yet there's paint. So we're just going with the flow. Right now, we have this one from what I've been videoing with you guys. I had that little accident of not realizing that I didn't have sound on. So this was actually one of the first papers. That can always be used at another time. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and do the browns and the golds around here in another layer. Then we're going to put the book on top of this or this on top of the book, and we'll go from there. I want to try and use the brown first on the outside, and we'll just go around trying to get it into different places. Be ready. Lift it off. Come back on here. I'm going to probably have some overlapping mistakes, but I'm going to be good with it. This is all just me. You know what? At this point, let's just have some fun and go with it. Put a little bit there and back down here on this side. And it looks like I'm going to need more. So let's see if we can, yep, get that out of there. This may not be the way you're supposed to do things, and that's fine. I'm just doing it this way today. Okay, so we've got the brown on that one. Now, I'm going to come back and do this and try and see if I can do some down here because that was the flowers. I'm going to do it with the sponge. And we'll come in here and sponge in between. See what we get here from this. What it looks like doing it this way. That'd be good. What does it look like over that one? Is what it is what I keep saying to myself all the time. And let's see, I'm going to just grab another stencil. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on here. I'm going to put the gold in it. This is an interesting situation right now. So we got some of that gold metallic. Let's go ahead. I'm going to mix it in with the brown. All right, let's just go ahead and we'll get the honeycomb in. And see what this does. All right, let's see how we do here. I'm going to go that side. Trying to get some of the sea pearl out. Okay, there we go. Now, we're just gonna dab this all over the top of it. If it mixes it up the wrong way, live and learn. Okay, looks like we need a little bit more. It is extremely hot here today. We are in April and just feels far hotter than it's supposed to be right now. Hopefully, what this is doing too is by sponging this layer over it, I'm also getting the texture of the sponge. And we're going to see what it does to it. And I'll be fine with it. I won't go crying or berating myself in the background. I'll just let it be what it is. Let's get this plate out of the way. Now I got this. And I'm doing this backwards. Last time I put the book on top of the plate. Today, I'm going to put the plate on top of the book. And that means I may end up getting some fingerprints in there. I'll be okay with it. Okay, now, so we can see that it's got the line on there. I'll end up seeing what I can do with that. And now I'm going to actually turn it over and let it do its work that way and let it dry. Well, I've let it sit for a while. I hit it on the back with a cold setting on the hair dryer. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to try and peel it back from here. So I'm going to try and keep this acetate sheet on it. I guess we'll see. You know, what the heck? We haven't been following any rules at all today, so why start now? So let's see if I can peel this back and see what we're going to end up with. Well, some of it wasn't dry yet, and we got that down there. And you know what? I'm at a point of we'll just work with it. Basically, you can use some tape and take that off. But I was already thinking that what I was going to do was cut some of this up and basically collage it on top. And since these are with the blue outlines and these are more with the tan, gold, cream outlines, see if we can just build off of each other and use some of the gel mat to glue it on there and help with this. I'm glad I did do this paint because at least it's not so stark, the white paint. There is at least some kind of background. But we're going to try and fix some of this. It looks like some of the stencil that was like honeycomb did make it through a little bit. Should have left it on a little bit longer. So what I'm going to go do now is I'm going to fussy cut some of these flowers and leaves and get ready to build it on top of this. I may look in some of my other paper stacks to see if I've got anything else that I want to bring on here, and I'll go from there. Well, I went and did as much cutting as I could. The print that came out really good. We had leaves on that and some of the flowers coming through and some of the leaf work that was at the bottom. I think I'm going to stick up at the top here. So what I'm going to do is just grabbing a flat brush, and I've got heavy gel gloss by Golden, and we're going to just try and see if I can get this to help glue all of this down to the surface. So just going to put some on the back here, and then I'll probably put some in the area too. And so I'll do the first one on camera, and then I'm going to probably go and just do these on my own. So we're just going to go ahead and put that one in there. And when I do come back, I'm going to gel a lot of them down to the paper. Now I'm going to set all these down just so you know. I took one that was more of the solid flower print in there, then put one that's more, you can see the light coming through, give it like multi-dimensional. If it works right, we'll see. We'll see if the plan actually executes. So I will be right back after gluing all of these down. And while I was doing all this gluing with the gel mat, something came to mind. You can see over here what I've done is I've taken some texture paste with sparkle because we need a little sparkle. And then some more of the gold metallic. So because that's basically a white textured paste, mixing it up here. And I'm going to see, I grabbed some of these sponge daubers or dabbers and maybe just try and bring some leaves and stuff up so that we get a little bit more, not just texture, but a little bit more dimension. See what we can do. And then I may take some of the gold metallic and do the border a little bit so that it's not looking so stark. But as you can see, I did go and glue down some of the pieces from one of the prints we made. Now we're going to see what we can see on this one. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a whirl here. Let's try with that one there. Let's do with the bigger sponge. And we'll see what it looks like. If it doesn't look good, then I'll just come up with something else. It's all learning. And yeah, I think I said it the last time. You know, smart thing would be to probably paste it down. But we're just seeing where it goes. All right. Let's see what we can do down here with it. Let's get it a little bit up here. And who knows, may end up just mixing up more, just dabbing the sponge with the metallic. So I get a little quiet because I'm really pouncing on this stencil. What is that looking like? Well, definitely getting some sparkle in here. Don't know if you guys can see it, but we are getting sparkle. Not so much coming over the papers that are there, but I'm spreading the love with the sparkle. So we're going to just keep spreading the love with the sparkle. Because you just got to spread the love. Okay, here we go. Let's just do this up here. See what we can do here. Didn't come as good through like over here, probably because it's a little bit darker. All right, let's get that spackle out of the way. And let's see what we want to do on this one. I think we'll come in up here a little bit because that is still a little bit wet down there. Sorry about the squeaky table. Ink. Do now is try and lift it off. There we go. It's coming out. And let's see. All right, let's see if I can do a quick mixing of the paste. I took a little bit out of the container, and then I take a little bit of the gold metallic to the side and mix it all together. This has definitely more metallic in it than the paste this time. It's definitely darker. So what can I do on that? Well, I can take a little bit of the matte. Let's see if we throw a little bit of this in here. I'm gonna pause. All right, you know, because the bottles are just not opening. So I did go ahead and put a little bit of the sea pearl in here to get it a little bit lighter. And it is, what they're saying is the apricot right there. So matching it up a little bit. And now let's go ahead and do one of those. Get my brush. Let's do the little brush. Where do I want to do it up here? Let's see what we got here. Do I want to try and, where's the leaf? There's a leaf. Okay, let's go ahead and get that leaf. Okay. See what happens when we use the smaller sponge. And I'm just dabbing up and down, trying not to shift it in any direction because, like I said, I did not tape it down. All right, let's go ahead. Ooh, that's getting sticky. All right, well, not as, you know, much sparkle going on in there. Just we're a little heavy there. All right, now what can I do with the rest of it? Okay, so now let's go ahead and put, what happens if I put that one right there? That didn't help that it moved. All right. I think we're getting to the point where I need to just go ahead and stop. Don't have lack of sleep and paint. I don't know if that's really the case. I didn't really sleep last night, but show goes on, right? And so now I'm just trying to blend it together. I think we're almost coming in for a landing. You know what? I'm not going to go in there. And let's just do something here. I threw it on here, then let me just make sure I do it over here so it sort of blends a little bit. All right. Get that. Well, this is one section where the mic went out without me knowing it, so thank you for your patience. This is just me showing you some little extra sponging touches that I'm doing on this before we get to finalizing a little bit more of what you see here. And so again, sorry for the technical difficulties. So I went and you saw me put down the texture paste mixed with the gold metallic. The second time around, I did mix in a little bit of this sea pearl in order to try and make it a little bit lighter for this upper part. It's still on the wet side. I'm about to take this off and see what we did. Hopefully I protected it a little bit better this time around. Hopefully. Let me get this other side down here done. And we'll go ahead and take the tape off. Oh, we got a little bit of yellow going there. All right, let's get this situated. You ready to pull this and then we'll look at it, see what we see. All right, I always sort of pull at an angle away from the paper because even though this is painter's or artist tape, it doesn't always, work too well and you start ripping the paper, the watercolor paper. So there we go. Let's look at it. Here's a good view of how it all turned out. It was pretty good. It was a wild ride today. Thank you for staying along with me. So the palette was palette number 180 from Color Cube 1 of Sarah Renae Clark's Color Cube system. And we were supposed to try for sage, apricot, chocolate, blue-gray, and charcoal. Some of those colors came close to it. Otherwise, thank you for being here with me. If you haven't already, I would really like you to subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.